My name is Mark. I live in the Japanese countryside with my wife Moi, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. As of 2018, a nationwide survey announced that about 13%, or roughly 8 million homes in Japan, are currently unoccupied. Over the next decade, that number is expected to increase to 30%. That's a lot of empty houses. The main reasons for the increased akiya growth rate in Japan are population decline and urban migration. In both cases, the rural areas of Japan are seeing a drastic decline, much more so than the urban areas like Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya. But while most akiya are in rural areas, they're still seeing an increase in urban areas like Tokyo, which still has about a 10% akiya rate right now. I've put some links below to different articles so you can check those out, and some links to different akiya banks so you can see what's available right now. If you see my previous video, then you know that we got our akiya in kind of an unconventional way. We didn't go through an akiya bank online, but we could have. It was listed there. Akiya can come about in several different ways and have a lot of strings attached with them. Thankfully, as a buyer, it's very easy to see what those strings are and how they affect the potential purchase. In our case, there were a few obstacles we had to overcome. If you may recall from the intro to this video, I teased a little bit about one of those obstacles. As you can see in this video, my friends and I are tearing down a perfectly good shed in clearly the safest way possible. When we went to the bank to buy our house, they sent a surveyor out to the property to assess its value, measure the property lines, and see if the deed matches what was there. It turned out they didn't. Sometime after the house was built, the previous owners built the shed on the property. However, before a property can be sold in Japan, you have to make sure everything's registered. In fact, the bank said you don't need to register additions until a property is sold. It's usually at that time that they'll assess the value of the buildings on the land and the land itself. I don't know how this would have affected the taxes or the value of the property, and nobody seemed to have an answer to that when I asked about it, so we just let it go and decided to tear down the addition.
Yeah!
At some point, I plan to rebuild that area into another shed, which will hopefully be a lot safer and more useful to me. I should say, this kind of expense usually falls to the current homeowner rather than the buyer to deal with. In our case, since we wanted to move fast and keep costs down for everyone, we offered to do the removal ourselves. Let's talk about price a little bit. Our house cost about 3.5 million yen, which at the time of purchase was about 32,000 US dollars. That's the price we agreed upon with the homeowner. Originally he was asking a bit more, I think about 6.5 million yen, but after seeing the house and its condition and all the work that needed to be done, he agreed that that was a little too much. When we went to the bank to see about getting a loan for the house, they assessed the land and the house separately. In our case, the land, which is about 725 meters squared, or 7,800 square feet, cost about 2.5 million yen, which at that time was about $22,000. The house, which is 214 meters squared, or 2,300 square feet, was worth considerably less at 1 million yen or so, which is about $9,000. On top of that price came quite a few fees and taxes that needed to be paid. So total fees for our loan are 372,000 yen, or just about $3,000. Since I work online, all my income is in US dollars. We, the bank and us, thought it would be easier to just use my wife's income alone to get the loan. The requirements they had for getting a loan are 1 year full-time employment and be a citizen or permanent resident of Japan. At the time, I didn't have permanent residence. I was here only on a spouse visa, and I'd have to get all of my income statements translated into Japanese, and then notarized. But I should say, that's just for getting a loan. Anyone, regardless of visa status, can buy a property in Japan as long as they have enough money and a willing seller. Well, that's about all I've got today. Thank you for your time. I hope today's video was entertaining and informative. If you like it, please click the like button, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. Thanks.